Hello, my name is Exible, and this is Unity of Command 2, rushed for the Apennines mission on hard. 3, 2, 1. And let's look at this mission. And to be honest, this is certainly and easily one of the most difficult missions. And to be honest, frustrating in some ways missions of the maybe first third of the Western campaign in Unity of Command 2. And the frustration comes from the fact that the mission, the hard bit of the mission is at this end, and it's easily like a 10-turn mission, which, yes. So if you fail, you have to replay it, and you'll have to replay it somewhere from the very beginning, and do everything correctly once again, and then have to replay all the last turns forever, right? So, but at the same time, knowledge of the mission and familiarity with some of its aspects, especially in what pertains to what you should do in the East with the British HQ, actually helps. And this is actually not my initial successful playthrough of the campaign, of the mission. Because at some point I forgot to save my game and had to replay it to get to the other alternative history scenarios in the Mediterranean, like the road from Romania, etc., etc. And so, yeah, I had to replay it, and this was actually, initially, I thought it was rather unsuccessful, and this was my first try then, at that point, because, Civitavecchia, you can actually take, if you're reasonably lucky, you can actually take Civitavecchia, both Viterbo and Civitavecchia on turn 1, even though, the deadline is 2. And so I generally consider this to be, bad form, and as you've noticed, I did not attack the German defenders of the bridge in the east, right? So it's a good idea to actually attack them despite possible losses, because there are a decent chance of forcing them to retreat and repairing that bridge and already pushing forward really fast on turn 2 in the east. And I thought, oh crap, I'll have to replay this because, I'm making these mistakes. But the thing is, and the beauty and the ugliness of this mission is that it's the stuff you do at the beginning is important, and you'll see, by the way, I'm moving that South African tank division to the east. It's critical. Those 2 tank divisions that you normally get in that area are not enough. And the stuff you're getting in the west is way too much, because of the Apennines themselves, you can't easily push your tanks from the west to the east. So it has to be a commitment. You have to choose at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the mission, and then roll with what you've got. Infantry can push, tanks you cannot, and by the end of the mission, tanks become really, really useless. And to be honest, once again, the combat in the west is easy. You can make mistakes, but it's not something that is gonna prevent you from succeeding in the mission, right? In the east, it's much tighter battle. The Germans, as you can see, the space is much lesser, is not as big, and so you'll have to deal with that, and your advance will not be as fast, and there's so much more wrong that can happen there. And so, yes, I'm gradually pushing. Oh, nice luck with that. 3 points of suppression. But at this point in the east, this is already gradually turning into this tank phase, because it's slightly more space. I'm getting slightly more space to maneuver in, and yes, so you should prioritize your tanks at that point. They should go forward, because past that, closer to Rimini, you'll have to switch back over to your infantry, because you'll get very, very stiff resistance and very difficult terrain there, so you'll not be able to move about very quickly. So your infantry will work better. By the way, that push by the German mechanized division, it looks scary. It certainly looks scary to a less experienced player, but for me, it's I wouldn't call it a godsend, but it's a really good opportunity, because okay, so they cut off my supply line. Oh yeah, oh no, this is scary. But the thing is that, for me, I didn't lose any supply. Okay, these guys are kind of slightly dangerous, in a dangerous position, but it doesn't matter. So it's just 1 turn out of supply, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, for me, yeah, they didn't change, that the AI didn't change anything for me. That was slightly a risky attack. So the AI didn't change anything for me, but they exposed that mechanized division. If you've noticed that actually it stood, prior to that very precarious and bold move, actually they stood behind a river. And so they were in a really good defensive position. And that's one of the, and they just rolled out, and where they were extremely exposed to my air support, because, a mechanized tank division in a field, okay, the weather is terrible, but, it's a very good place to be in. Not very good place. Actually, not a very good place to be in as a tank or mechanized division. That's one. And two, so I just destroyed them. Very poor position for them. And so this is something actually you learn in Moscow 41. Is that when, especially, you have crap units. You have crap units. And you have to, find ways to break through German defensive lines, through their fortifications, through their ability, through their better positions, quite often in very difficult terrain, in forests and cities and everything. Yeah, you leave openings in your front, and then you kind of suck them in, like little Hoover, like a little vacuum cleaner, just clear all that area and see what happens. And quite often the AI takes the bait, and you can just improves your life. I remember this. This to be a very good idea in the Kursk Oriol offensive, which is one of the later missions in the Moscow 41 campaign, where the objective, I don't remember the name of the objective, but it was deep in the forest. It was protected by fortified enemies, so you just have no way of dealing with it in time. You don't have the firepower. And so so one of the ways to deal with that is actually leave it in an opening with a bridge, really important bridge that provides supply to a small number of troops. Yeah, and so the AI takes that bait and just goes for it and exposes itself completely, because the objective, yes, it still maintains unity in the objective, but they are not fortified. Hence, it's much easier for me to actually break through them and succeed ultimately in that mission. So back to Italy. As you can see, I'm pushing through, and as you can see, having enough tanks is rather important here, because the Germans are accumulating that resistance near Ancona. And please don't leave just 2 infantry division next to Ancona. I've had 2 failed playthroughs of this mission where I just left 2 infantry divisions next to Ancona and sent everyone off in the direction of Route 76, which you shouldn't do to begin with, in the direction of Rimini, and there was no one and so what they did, so they caused that infantry division to be cornered. So they damaged it, but they didn't get an overrun because they're infantry division, so not a high chance of that. And so I didn't have the firepower. I didn't have the active divisions with active action points. So to destroy that already cornered, already suppressed, fully suppressed division completely. So and take Ancona. So it's a good idea to leave maybe 2 divisions just to block Ancona, as you can see here now. Obviously, I will replace that tank with an infantry, and then an infantry division somewhere nearby, so that you can actually finish them off. Just in case, it's very possible actually to kill them into attacks, but it doesn't always happen. Just trust me. And so I'm very successfully clearing out this plane. I'm really happy about it, and this is actually a very deliberate move that I made with the infantry, even though actually I'm doing pretty well, but that infantry, that Polish infantry with engineers, a special forces step and an artillery step. I wish it had a priest, but that's effectively the ideal blitzkrieg combination of specialist steps that I found to work really well in this game, as the Allies, obviously, and the Germans have brought in their Panther, the first Panther you see in this campaign. If you go for the old history, if you go for the historical, it'll be just in Overlords and in Northern Europe, in France. And so, and as you can see, I'm gradually advancing towards Livorno, but to be honest, I've played this mission maybe 10 or 12 times, and I've never had any, by the way, cornering in Ancona, but this time I got lucky and killed Ancona in one move. But still, having that 3rd division allowed me to use that relatively poor, relatively less equipped Indian division, and some movement points for that division that's attacked but is better equipped. So there can be trade-offs, so having that 3rd division is a good idea. Livorno is never a problem. In contrast, I've never seen it to be a problem, so no, don't worry about it. Okay, the Panther is down, brilliant. And as you can see, I'm gradually advancing to the infantry parts of this mission, and it's probably not going to end well. I'll have to wait and bring up my engineer-equipped infantry there, and it's not going to be super easy. Even though I actually don't remember, to be honest, I don't remember. It's been a few days since I actually played this mission, so I know that I did pretty well. And I don't remember what I did exactly at this stage and at this point. By the way, I'm sending 3, at least, like, send as many as you can, all of these divisions, from Firenze, from Arezzo, towards that reach Central Apennines objective, because, like, you need as many troops that can possibly attack that hex by the end of the mission as possible. If you've got 3, this is brilliant, because you're gonna suffer from a lot of from an incredible deficit of firepower at that point, and you're not going to have any time, so you really need as many divisions near that area as possible. And, by the way, I suspect Livorno is going to fall this turn, unless I decide to be very careful, because I still have a turn left. Let's see what I do. Yeah, no, I decide to be careful, so, like, really no point not to be. And so I'm pushing, and so I'm very lucky to actually have that normal tank division, not the Panther, in Breach Central Apennines. Sometimes the AI loves to drop the Panther there. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes you just need to behave in a particular way to trigger the AI. And as you can see, I'm gradually pushing through, taking some losses, but as you can see, this bridgehead is incredibly important, and so I'm sending the New Zealand tank division, because, like, it's more powerful than all of your tank divisions by default. It just has a higher attack rating, and by the way, I'm preparing for that Route 76, the possible use of a card, but I really didn't need it in the end. But the New Zealand tank division has better attack than all of the rest of your divisions, plus it comes as an elite unit, plus I have the special forces step, which reduces your losses and obviously beefs your attack and defense up, so it's a very powerful unit. So the Germans love destroying that bridgehead next to Rimini, but at this point, like, the unit is way too powerful. They don't have, without the Panther, for sure, they don't have the capability. And here's me being, once again, very aggressive. Yes, I'll take some losses. And some pretty significant ones. It's not very good. Not very good form, but I want to take that Rimini, and it's mine. And the Germans don't have the forces. Actually, I got very lucky. Well, I don't know if it's luck, but I successfully managed to destroy that Panther, that powerful tank division that would have been deadly in the north, like past Rimini, like if they could counterattack and try and destroy my bridgehead, that would have been so much more difficult. But yes, on turn 9, the mission is over, so, like, I actually took those 2 difficult objectives before I took Livorno, which is like a no-brainer. And Livorno is mine, and this is it for this relatively difficult mission that it took me 7 minutes to explain in my cracking video. Alright, this is it for the mission. I like, at this point, I'm just doing, like, a bunch of management stuff. It doesn't really matter. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope this helps you in your own games, and until next time, bye!